Diving straight into the FBG duck case, man, it's been a wild ride these past few weeks. Info's been spilling left and right, snitches blabbering their mouths off, and Mr. Snitch News stealing the spotlight, dropping truth bombs all over the place. Meanwhile, the old block crew's playing innocent, trying to act like they ain't got nothing to do with Duck's hit. They're trying to pin it on Martians or something, claiming they ain't involved. But check this out, today's news is off the charts. New info came out showing Duck wasn't meant to go down, and now it's looking like the whole thing was a setup, like Duck and old block got played. Crazy turn of events, fam. Things ain't as they seemed in this whole saga. Seems like there's one guy pulled the strings behind this whole thing. Brace yourselves for this bombshell. Here's the scoop. The day started with a long grind, and it all kicked off with a security guard from the Moncler store taking the stand. This security guard was posted up on duty when FBG Duck got hit. His sole job was to keep an eye out, making sure nobody swiped stuff from the store. He was eyeballing everyone coming in and out. Here's where it gets real interesting. The security guard says he saw two dudes outside the shop chatting about a gun but never stepping foot inside. That set off alarm bells in his head. Then, he spots Ralph T and another dude, a darker guy sporting a red shirt, rolling in. Now, this security dude's spidey sense is tingling hard. He's clocking the red shirt dude's strange moves while Ralph T's out there loudmouthing on his phone. Things ain't adding up, and this guard's smelling trouble brewing right then and there. Here's where it gets juicy. Mr. T was straight up bellowing into that cell phone. He was all like, "This is insane. Duck just rolled up on me with a crew, trying to off me. They pulled out heaters, man. Get here quick, I'm laying low in the Moncler store." I asked the guard to stay put for our safety cause I reckon they're still lurking outside, waiting for me. And guess what? All of that drama got caught on camera. Straight up wild, right? The whole setup, the tense situation, everything's right there, caught on tape for everyone to see. Man, that was some insanely stupid move. Goofy didn't even bother putting on his mask, straight amateur hour. And what happens minutes later? Duck gets blasted. Ralph T was spinning a massive yarn for all sorts of reasons. Truth is, Duck wasn't rolling with a crew of he was chilling with his girl at the Chanel store, while Ralph T was creeping on him from the Moncler store. The security guard came through and confirmed some crucial details. According to him, there were no threats made to Ralph T, no gangsters following or aiming to take him out. Ralph T didn't even mention anything about needing protection to the guard. Here's the kicker, Duck was shot merely 5 to 10 minutes after that phone call went down. This info shines a light on the situation. There was no imminent danger to Ralph T, no urgency, no real reason for such a frantic call for help. The timeline between that call and Duck getting hit raises some serious questions about the truth behind Ralph T's story. Looks like there's more to this whole setup than meets the eye. This whole ordeal, for now, looks like a setup orchestrated by Ralph T, dragging all these old block dudes into this hot mess. When that video played in court, Mama Duck couldn't handle it. She bolted out, tears streaming. I heard even Kenny Mac, Moop, and the crew were eyeing Ralph T with straight up fire in their eyes. They were ready to drop him right there if they had the chance. This whole deal ain't looking like a planned hit at all. Seems like King Von, Dirk were clean on this one. But not D-Thang, because it was clearly heard that this idiot Mr. T was speaking on the phone with Lil Durk's brother. But all the evidence up to now points to this never being some orchestrated plan by anyone. Looks like Ralph T might have been the one pushing for Duck to be taken out but didn't want his hands dirty in the killing, so he dragged all those old block dudes into this mess. Man, that's some twisted maneuvering right there, pointing fingers and ducking responsibility. This whole situation is a hot mess. Man, if that story sticks, Ralph T won't be safe anywhere, inside or outside of prison. Picture this, dudes made enemies with both 63rd and O Block. That's like setting off a powder keg waiting to explode. Somehow, Ralph T might just be the catalyst that'll get these two long-standing rivals to join forces against him. They'll come together, united, to take Ralph T apart piece by piece. It's a wild scenario, but if the streets talk and this truth gets out, it's gonna be a whole different ballgame for Ralph T. Now, you might be curious about why Ralph T aimed to take down someone with such a massive rep and as a GD leader like FBG Duck. The tale goes that Duck was involved romantically with Mr. T's girlfriend. Mr. T didn't have the guts to confront Duck one-on-one, so he roped in the most lethal killers from old block to do his dirty work. Man, when it comes to affairs of the heart and the streets, things get real messy, real quick. It's wild, right? Duck wasn't even involved with T's girl at that moment, but apparently had history with her from years back. It's crazy to think someone would dial up their buddies, making it seem like their life's on the line, pulling them from their homes into a situation that will end in death or a lifetime behind bars. And all of this just because he couldn't man up to defend a girl. He straight up exploited the deep-seated hatred these guys had for each other, reaping the benefits without having the backbone to confront the situation himself. It's a messed up play, manipulating the animosity between these crews for personal gain, especially over something from the past that didn't even concern the present. Ralph T's lawyer got in the mix, and you gotta hear how it all went down. So, the state was grilling this witness, and Ralph T's lawyer jumped in for that cross-examination, making moves like he owned the place. Lawyer asked if this dude remembered what went down that day, and he was like, "I remember every detail, no doubts about it." But then things got heated. The lawyer was like, "You sure Ralph T was the one on that video on the phone?" And this dude, he straight up said, "Yeah, it's that guy, no doubt about it." But then, get this, Ralph T's lawyer pulled a slick move, telling Ralph T to stand up in the courtroom. He wanted this witness to ID Ralph T in person, in front of everyone. And guess what? The witness confirmed, saying he saw Ralph T's face in the store because one of Ralph's crew had to hand him a mask. After that phone call, Ralph T and his buddy in a red shirt strolled across the street, and then Ralph T made that call to the cops. They wrapped it up soon after, excusing the security guard from the stand. But that ain't the end. Nah, more witnesses were lined up, ready to spill the beans come Wednesday. It's like a drama show in that courtroom,